Warhammer versus Marauder. Two iconic mechs, two of my favorite mechs, and we're continuing our head-to-head Battletech analysis here. This is going to be an interesting matchup, and I'm going to do my best. I've got love. I've got a lot of love for both of these machines. In any given game of significant battle value, there's a good chance I'm going to be fielding a Warhammer. There's a good chance I'm going to be fielding a Marauder. If it's a higher battle value game, there's a good chance I'm going to be fielding both of these mechs. I have good tabletop experience in that if I'm playing a game with you and you're my mech commander and you've got me piloting a Warhammer, I think I can deliver against a variety of targets. Similar with a Marauder, although while they do share the dual PPCs, there is a significant difference in playstyle. But the one thing that they share, heat management. Now, I've pushed up to my Battletech channel here under the playlist, exploring the Warhammer, exploring the Marauder. You can dive deeper into that Tactica. We're looking head-to-head. And the presentation of this and the previous vlogs is such that we're part of a lance, we're going in, things happening, missiles, lasers. Across from you is that Warhammer. Across from you is that Marauder, or that perspective, or whatever mechs we're going head-to-head. You've got to go head-to-head. There is no reinforcement. It's just you taking head-to-head. So what we're looking at both mechs is this idea of utilizing the PPCs. Inner Sphere Tech, good range, 10 points of damage, 10 heat. We're looking to normally chain fire these, meaning as we're approaching, and I'm not necessarily in any hurry to engage to medium or short range to bring my medium lasers, missiles, or other things into play, unless it's something like a dedicated long-range machine. Like if I'm facing a longbow, possibly an archer, I want to close fast. I don't want to be eating missile packs all day, 2 or 3, 4 turns. But if it's another type of mech, then I might be happy to just slow my approach. Or if there's some woods, hang out in some woods. Or if there's a chance to block my feet, my legs, then just park, cut down the movement modifiers, and fire PPCs. Fire 1, fire 2, let it cool. Or just kind of 1-1 or 1-2, let it cool. That barrage. So I could see both of these machines doing that with the hopes of trying to punch through some armor. Now, once we start to close, this is where things get interesting, because the Marauder has a slight advantage long range with that autocannon. As we start to close and we shut down the PPCs to heat management, we've got medium lasers on both machines. We've got the SRM on the Warhammer, and we've got the autocannon on the Marauder. Similar. Now we've got heat management. So we're kind of, equal. We're kind of moving side to side. So what it's going to come down to is, I think at this point, luck. If I face forward to forward and just try to blast each other, the luck of the dice, hey, it's Battletech. Or can one mech warrior or another try to focus fire on a certain side to open things up, or look for possible opening armor up to lead to crit with ammo, exploring those aspects, deliberately trying to weaken at a certain point so that when we close to medium range or we close to more, we're going to bypass a lot. That's easier said than done, especially if it's 1-to-1, because if you win initiative, the other player is going to be a little defensive. If you lose it, you'll be defensive. Now we push to close range. I can see the Warhammer wanting to push to close range, to leverage the short-range missiles, to leverage machine guns, to leverage other things, just to throw dice and try to zap once we've lost some armor on that Marauder. The danger here, though, of course, is while the Marauder doesn't lack dedicated super short-range stuff, it can still fire that autocannon. It can still fire those medium lasers. And the Warhammer's armor is weak on the legs and weak at certain points. Certainly at long range, I don't want to take those hits, but short range, as we cut down on range modifiers and movement modifiers, because we are limited by heat on both of these machines. What that means is now the Marauder is going to be scoring more hits more often. Dude, that's a little tough. That's a little tough to eat depending on the location, how that's going to work. So I could see if it's long range to long range, both are going to try and weaken each other. As we close to that medium range, I still see them somewhat evenly matched, although I give it a little bit more to the Marauder because it does have slightly better heat management, not by much. Close range, I start to give it to the Warhammer, but the Warhammer has to watch out for its legs and other areas on that perspective. And then, of course, heat for both. What you could think about doing if you're going to push the heat, eject the autocannon ammo. If the Warhammer ejects its ammo, now it's starting to look at it's losing significant weapons. It's losing machine guns. It's losing your short-range missile pack. So you're downgrading multiple weapon possibilities as opposed to the Marauder, which is only downgrading one. If things go to crits, or if you really need to push the heat to finish it off, then you kind of do what you have to do. So an even matchup, but uneven in certain areas, and depending on range, depending on timing. This is so hard for me to call it, but I'm going to call it. Then, of course, in the comments, what you guys think. I'm going to give it to the Marauder. I love the Warhammer. I love the Marauder. I guess it's a win-win, but I'm going to give it to the Marauder.